All right, let's go. So day number 33 of running paid ads for my own marketing agency. And let's start off with the honest truth. Paid ads do suck. So let's break it down because we'll go over a couple of things and I'll show you from the ad account a few numbers here. We'll go also over some of the leads that came in through IGDM ads. As you might know, recently, I think around 2 days ago, we did start running IGDM ads, and I've seen an improvement compared to instant forms, because if we compare instant forms and IGDM ads, there's some friction when you actually have to start talking with someone, right? Because you actually consider that. Do I want to start this conversation, right? And most people don't start a conversation unless they actually show some interest, right? While with lead forms, you don't really have to talk with anyone. You just have to fill in some forms. And the thing is that sometimes it's automated, meaning that with the email, with the phone number, it's really easy to just put it. So it's more convenient, right? Which makes it easier. And that's one of the downsides. However, why do paid ads suck, right? Because it is actually the best channel. So to some extent here, I'm just contradicting myself, but we need to actually compare it to something, right? Because paid ads compared to cold email, for example, is more predictable because you can actually scale it easier, I would say. And compared to cold email, it's a better channel because cold email, anyone can do it. So if you send a cold email, then it's not necessarily that much different than anyone else in this world doing it for free. And that's the downside. You're competing with everyone. When it comes to paid ads, you're not really competing with anyone. You're just competing with people who do have some funds to actually invest into acquiring customers, into advertising. So that's a benefit there. If you are just like me right now, doing paid ads, and I'm able to look at them daily, as you can see in this series, then I'm probably going to do better than someone who maybe is trying to do the same thing as me, but they look at the ads maybe weekly, right? Because not everyone will actually look daily at it. Just like if you would have a client, you wouldn't check it as often as if it was your own business, right? And that just makes sense in most cases, at least. And it's just like having a kid, right? Of course, you'll take care of your kid first, then look at other kids or at anyone else in your family, right? It's order of priorities. And the reason why I'm saying that paid ads are not the best is also because it's a volume game. Just like with DMs, it's also a volume game. So let me show you here from my second phone, because this is basically more so like for business, not so much for Instagram and so on, wasting time around doom scrolling. So here I just check a few things, and you can see here that I do have from ads. Let me not dox anyone again, because I did it in yesterday's video, I guess. So let's see. You'll see there that there's a tab called from ads, right? And then there are around 3 conversations that I actually started. So I guess I can show this. I started around 3 conversations, and one of them is from someone who I think they do have a store, possibly. I won't dox it right now, just because let's keep some privacy in here. And the main thing is that this person has around 89k followers, right? So the benefit here is that eventually you will get in front of some people, right? The right ones, ideally. And let me look at this guy's following list, right? Who he's following, to see if there's like any overlap. And I mean, at least a lot of it is about success. So that's a good thing. And this is how you actually do research, right? Just like when you send a cold email or cold DM, you try to understand who is that person on that other side. So for example, I do see that he's following a lot of business, wealth to wealth pages, right? Like I can show them actually here. A lot of great pages if you scroll down, and that's a good thing. Lawyer memes, some Instagram models maybe, but just one or two, and then NBA, NHL, yeah. So things that most of us would probably like if we are actually into entrepreneurship and so on. So that's a good starting point. Oh, also Klay Thompson, which is interesting because I'm actually a Dallas Mavericks fan, and he moved as a player, NBA player, to Dallas Mavericks. So as you can see, already some things in common right away, right? I can just bring this up. But he is, I would say, an exception, meaning that not most people will probably be exactly the ideal customer profile, right? I mean, even he might not be, but still, if he's into business and so on, then we might still work now or at a later date on meta ads, right? I mean, this is why it's really important to think in multiple offers and for a longer time period, right? Because that was why in the beginning, coming back to the initial thing that we just talked about in the beginning, paid ads kind of suck, because if we compare them to an intro or a referral, that's where it's probably like one of the best channels. When someone is actually referring you, saying good things about you. And I'm actually saying that because last week I had a call, a proposal, and someone wanted to work with me, but first they wanted, because they weren't in a rush, that's probably one of the reasons, but they wanted actually to talk with current clients, right? And I wanted to be a good guy here and actually make 2 intros, and we'll see if it was the right decision, right? Because I could have just said, no, they don't want to talk. Like, what kind of additional social proof do you want? But of course, why not give them a chance to connect, right? Because fortunately, the clients are happy with their performance, the eCom clients. So of course, I don't have anything against this. And actually, I do see it as a win-win, because then eCom owners connect and I'm like the middleman. So they might actually network because of me. So that's actually a plus for them as well. So win-win, right? But that's why paid ads are not necessarily my favorite, being honest here, because it's still trying to attract someone. And it's more so like in the middle between cold email, where you reach out, because here with paid ads, you do reach out, but at the same time, you let them come in. So they do give you some answers initially before you actually pursue them. And then of course, with referrals, you are not the one saying much. You are the one who is being asked about the service and so on. And as you might have seen, we do have like a blue light here, just because I did receive this recommendation on LinkedIn. You have LinkedIn here on the screen if you are seeing it. I'm not sure if you do. If not, I might just change the camera for a second here. But with all of that being said, let me show you the performance in the ad account here, because after all, this is what we're doing, right? Paid ads. And like I've shown you, we do get sometimes good leads, and we also need to think in terms of what will happen over the entire year of 2025 if these paid ads continue running, right? Because sometimes it's just 1 or 2 connections that you need to make, and then you make all of that money back from advertising, and then you also keep those relationships, which is a plus. So let's switch the camera and look at the ad account. All right, so now we are in the ad account, and I do have to mention one thing. Yesterday, basically, we spent $30, and that was because it was $10 in Canada, $10 in US, and $10 in UK. And right now, you will actually see that I did stop UK. And there are 2 reasons. So first of all, somehow one of my friends actually saw this and he clicked on it, and then I noticed that the automated message just kept asking and asking until he actually replied, which I was not a big fan of, because I was expecting the AI to understand that, all right, he is not interested, but it continued to push. So Basically, I stopped it because I'm also not the biggest fan of the UK market, meaning that it's definitely, as you can see, even yesterday, the most expensive here, not in terms of CPM, but a mix here of click-through rate and cost per click. So it's not my favorite one. And as you can see, I already paused it. And UK and Canada definitely have, I would say, better markets. And if you know, right now they are actually fighting against tariffs with Trump and everything. So I'm not sure if it's the ideal thing, but to each their own. We're trying to do something else here. So right now, keeping these two ads, keeping these image ads, which I think are working, meaning that they are attracting to some extent the right people, the ones who understand Meta and Shopify. And I think these two logos here help a lot. And then of course, the text actually gives you an idea in terms of Q4, Q1. So things that ideally I would expect an eCom brand owner to understand. So this is pretty much it. Not much else to say right now. So let's switch the camera back. All right, so now that we're back, let's end with a few final words here. So basically, like I was mentioning about that qualified lead from here, from IGDM ads, I will have a call on Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. In the meantime, there are a bunch of other calls, and they are not from ads. They are from different channels, like I mentioned, the fact that someone found me on LinkedIn because I was posting, someone else because we were on a platform. I might be talking maybe at another time about that platform. It's actually really good for, let's say, even freelancers, but also agency owners. So yeah, if you need clients inbound, especially if you are doing Shopify development, there might be an opportunity there, but also anything else such as creative strategy, media buying, because honestly speaking, on that platform, which is invite only, I have noticed that there are levels, right? I mean, there are levels when it comes to everything, meaning that when I audit Meta ad accounts, I am seeing that a lot of accounts are just managed by agencies, which are bigger, have a reputation, don't do the worst job for sure, but it's just like comparing the best basketball or soccer or football player that you have around you in your group of friends, right? Which basically that person crushes you, right? If it's one-on-one. But if you compare that person with someone from the NBA, from someone that plays professionally, then that person crushes them even worse, right? So it's like a 10x difference between, let's say, you and the best friend in your circle when it comes to sports. And then it's like a 10 or 100 difference between that person and a real athlete, right? And then let's not forget that even the real athlete might be less effective in terms of like records or whatever, or yeah, just not as good as the top player in their circle, in their professional circle, right? So there are levels to this game for sure. So that's why we won't be yapping too much, because I also have to do some work, check some accounts, edit this video, post it, and then making sure everything is working well across accounts, even the one from the agency. So with all of that being said, I hope you took something away from this video. As always, the fact that paid ads, for example, aren't necessarily like the favorite, my favorite or anyone's favorite maybe, because you actually have to pay money, right, to get in front of people. But if you know that eventually it will give you a benefit, then it's still worth investing, right? Because it's actually an investment in yourself. And let's be honest, what's better than an investment in yourself? Not necessarily items that you won't really care about in a few weeks, maybe in just one day. So basically investing in ourselves is always a big plus. So that's pretty much it for today, and until tomorrow, wishing you the best. Peace out.